I guess you want to see more now, right? That's really just shocking details you've seen so far. Here's the part where things actually get scandalous. I've added 3 more entries. There's one missing here. 1, 2, 3. My art is December 29th, year 321. Hannah. My art is that of lies and lying, and of both I have much practice. I've said to men I love you falsely, I've suffered pain but smiled, and pleasure. I think this is supposedly a poet, but the hardest lie I've ever told was that I could live without you. This is supposedly a poem. Man, how's that for verse? Really, it's not the translation, I assure you. It's not the translation? It's not exactly any better than the original Korean. Can you believe that was actually written by someone who had studied poetry for years? Seriously? I do think it's pretty bad. I know, right? Well, it's no surprise, I guess. I mean, for one, I'm pretty sure all poetry written by 16-year-olds is just inherently awful, and she's no exception. She doesn't know anything, and it really shows. But, well, you know, more than that, she's still a whore and a woman. Ew, damn. To be fair, you wouldn't really expect any better, regardless of age. They weren't that extreme, were they? I don't know much about the subject, but I mean, come on. There's a reason why men's poetry is what gets studied and taught, and women's poetry is just used for seduction. You need really sincerity. You need someone who actually understands love. It's titillating. It's titillating, sure, but it's crap. Anyway, though, I guess you want to see other poem that whore wrote for her. I want to see it. Right, of course. Here, have it. If you found the last one arousing, please don't. Please don't be that. Well, it's not any good, but I am sure you'll be entertained at least. Sorry, I can't at least give you one that was meant for a man, though. That's all the whore's poetry for Sojin. She didn't seem to write down the ones she did for anyone else, so that's all you can get. Pretty flower. So this was the first one, huh? And this was the last one. December 5th, year 321. Pretty flower. Pretty flower, who could plant you, then abandon you in your bed? Each day I stop to admire your aroma. Will you gardener a mind? Each night I pluck my own petals, but dream of yours in bloom. Each night I pluck my own petals, but dream of yours in bloom. It's not bad. Man, how's that for verse? Really, it's not that the translation, I assure you. It's not exactly any better than the original Korean. Well, the last one was okay. Can you believe that was actually written by someone who had studied poetry for years? Seriously? We'll be. I think we'll be back soon to talk to Hyunai. But I'll check the questions with the mute before I go and check them with Hyun. February 12th, year 322. It was only after I finally started to become comfortable with you, confident that you really were mine and that I didn't have to work to impress you. That thing got complicated. My husband had left for the day and you were still lingering, having spent the night with him. But it was for me that you had a new love poem, and I understand you while you sang it. When you were done, you clung to me, stripping me in turn while I... I'm not really comfortable in reading all that, to be honest. I want to see something. We'll see and walk into. So intrigued was I at the moment that I never heard the footsteps outside. We had just started to kiss when the door suddenly opened. What a scene to walk into. There my husband was, in the doorway, his courtesan and wife, naked together, mouth still connected by a strand. For a moment nobody said anything. And that time I felt terror as never before in my life. Sang-min is not a gentleman, and while he'd hardly ever raised his hand to me, I was still overwhelmed with horror. That he might hurt me, or even worse, that he would hurt you. I had seduced you, but in that moment I realized if he did try, there was nothing I could do to protect you. But just as we were stammering our "I'm sorry, sir," he just laughed and laughed. Well, he said, ogling us with that cold stare of his, I am certainly paying you enough for two. Huh? Then he walked over and raised his hand, and I stared in terror. But all he did was pat you on the head, as though you were a child. I don't know what she told you, but you don't have to pay any attention to her. Easier to just ignore her, really. All you could do was start to stammer, I wanted to. We were both so afraid, but he just laughed and shrugged. Whatever, he said as he passed through the other door. Was he drunk? Was he drunk? Neither of us knew what to do other than climb off each other and scramble to cover ourselves back up. While we both clumsily tried to dress ourselves, Sang-min walked back through the room once more, carrying a satchel. He'd forgotten it for work, I suppose. Don't have to stop on my account. If you ask permission, you can do whatever the hell you want, he said. Then he laughed again. Don't know what you think you're even going to do, though. Aren't you two missing something? Badum. I wish he had struck me instead. It would have hurt me far less than what he said. Or what you had to watch me do. She did something? Just imagine the scene. Her and the whore pleading with her husband, being mocked like that. So she did something. She supposedly did something. They had it coming? What do you think? What do you make of that? Hmm. 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 I gotta be honest. These kind of questions it's more of like the game is trying to judge you. It's right to judge you, but it comes down to if they actually think they believe it's wrong or thought that it was wrong. Really, like, usually, you know, I believe that everyone should live the way that they want to live, right? If they choose to live in a certain way, then they have all the right to do that. But if you are in a society that actually you know, doesn't agree with some sort of a lifestyle, and you just went for it anyway, I would say that you had it coming. Because if you're valuing this, you probably should value where you live in. Like if you actually value this over the value of the place you live in, you should actually move away. And they had, of course, they don't have a choice in that. They're in space, definitely, but it is sad either way. Like, it is sad. I guess it is sad. I mean, really, what an awful, pitiful scene. It is not. I am not. It's not. I'm not saying he didn't have the right to say those things. Of course, he did. That is his prerogative. And sure, she was a bad wife. But still, even if he had the right, that is a shitty way to treat her. He should have been a better man than that. Just really, what a pathetic scene. Just absolutely pathetic. He should have been ashamed, not laughing. Just no sense of shame. I'm glad you think so too. Anyway, I'll let you get back to reading. And I guess that counts that of her that she was cheating on her husband, but it really shows that it really doesn't matter. Then, like, the game shows that, like, for the women there, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's not. It's not, you know, it's like you should be sympathizing. You should have sympathy for these women, and I think, yeah, I mean, marrying at a young age, you know, just picked like that, and yeah, they definitely look, they serve nothing as none other than tools of breeding, as I see. But look, it looks like life is boring for them. Like, what do they have to do other than that? Unsent letter 6, Hannah. February 23rd, year 322. It is so unfair. Why couldn't you have been born a man instead? Sure, you'd lose your beauty and the gentleness I love about you, but at least you would be able to do something. And Sangmin would be jealous instead of thinking of you as completely unthreatening. I just know you want to be able to stand up for me, and it's killing me to see that you're powerless too. Right now, he's happy to keep me around. You know, it gets him off to have something to hold over my head. I had no idea you were so lustful that you'd even settle for a woman. He says, what's that like? The worst part? Is she going to kill him? Is she going to kill him in the end? One of these ladies are going to kill him. The worst part, I know that the only way to keep seeing you is to play along. Oh well, you know, for a girl my age. I respond and press my hands against my face to look like I'm embarrassed. It's just playing. It's not the same without, you know. I trail off because he thinks it's so cute when I'm too ashamed to say the word cock-a-doodle-doo. Poor girl, he says, as roughly gropes me, and I force out all those soft moans and gasps to make him think that he's really making me happy, and I say awful things. Love. I say such awful things about you. It kills me. It just kills me. And then I beg, just to see more of you. I don't know what leaves a worse taste in my mouth, him or those words. What else can I do? I'm sorry, Sujin. I know the last time I talked with you, all I did was cry. Thanks for not asking. It was just so hard to hold it all, and while smiling cutely for your husband. We have the worst fate ever, don't we? Well, yeah. I guess you probably also find that sort of thing cute, right? It's okay, I guess. That's why a smart man says, stays the hell away from whores. Deception is just what they do. Even she has some some ideas of... Well, that's women in general, I guess, now that I think about it. Still, I bet if he'd read what she'd written there, he'd never have wanted to sleep with her. Anyway, I'll let you get back to reading. Is Mute Hannah? She might be. But no, it doesn't make sense, because, I don't think it makes sense. No, I don't think she is. We still don't understand her feeling towards, what was his name? Was it Sang-min? Or I think it was Sang-jung. Not Sang-jung? Yeah, I think it was Sang-jung? The drunk brother. She has a feeling for him. Unsent letter 7. March 3rd, year 322. The last time we spoke, I poured wine for you, rather than the usual tea. It seemed as though you needed it. I held you tight while you drank, petting your hair and wiping every tear to drop from those deep sad eyes. He's going to get bored eventually, you had said, and though I tried to comfort you, we both knew it to be true. I could try pressuring him to buy you. I had offered. It was our only option, really. If he didn't, you'd simply return to the service of the government, to be rented out to who knows who, and we would never meet again. Thanks, you said. Do you think he'll listen? You asked. I wished nothing more than to be able to lie to you, to say that of course I did, that it would be all right. No, I said, I couldn't. We sat for a long time in silence. Finally, I said, even that would be worse than you deserve. How did that take them, by the way, to admit that they actually love each other? I'll have to go back and see that. Finally, I said, even that would be worse than you deserve. He owns me. He see how I am treated. I wish you could have far better. Sorry, you said. Please don't be. All of this is my fault. If I had just been a good wife and left well alone, all this heartbreak could have been avoided. Woman is back to blame herself for all of this. I said, trying to calm you, but you only cried more. When you had no more tears left, you spoke again. What about the other courtesan he bought? The real mother of Ren'Py. What if you blackmailed him? If only. I would do it gladly for you, but the royal family knows already. I shut off my mouth in front of mute ones without thinking, and soon enough, it was my own fault too. Oh, you said. What if I give him a son? You suggested, even though I know how appalling that thought was to you, and I couldn't help but laugh when I thought of why it would never work. Oh, Hannah. I said, do you think the reason I've never gotten pregnant was for a lack of trying? I stroked her cheek. In the months you've been with him, has your period been disturbed even once? No. You said, oh, so he's what do you call it? What's the word in English? Yeah, my English isn't very good. My vocabulary sucks. That's all about it. But yeah, he can't impregnate women. No, you said as you realized what I was saying. It would never work. As tears fell from your eyes once more, you started to laugh too. I figured it was just, all chance. I shook my head. She wants to talk to me. This is the first time that she actually wanted to talk to me. I shook my head. No child in the first year of marriage, that is chance, I said, laughing sadly. Whether he is too proud or too stupid to realize, I know not. But one child is in 11, but no child in 11 years of marriage, that is not chance. That is an impotent man raising someone else's daughter. So that child is not his too, huh? He looked at me, realizing the plan was doomed. There aren't any real men in this house, are there? You said, finally. We laughed and laughed. Your future so sadly uncertain. So they actually laughed at that? Alright. Well, there you have it. That's it for the scandalous and sordid story of the noble wife, Sojin, and her husband's whore. I keep going back and forth on how to feel about the whole thing. On the one hand, I feel pretty bad for Sojin. It should have never had to sink to that for her. On the other hand, well, it's not like she didn't still make her decision for herself. It'd be wrong to just cover it up, right? I respect her, but at the end of the day, she still did do unspeakable things with a whore. I'm just kinda conflicted, especially now that she's long gone. Well, anyway, what do you think of all that? It was hot. It was awful. No matter how you look at it, that's true for sure. Watching a good woman fall like that, well, you get the idea, I'm sure. Anyway, that's all what I want you to keep in mind. Stories like that, even the messed up ones. There's a reason why the last ones dates to year 322. It's not that their affair came to a conclusion. It's that they just both died. So yeah. Even if it is one hell of a story, it's one that ended completely abruptly. Just remember that, alright?